if you believe that he somehow really cares about your bottom dime and your what's going on in your life, just look at the people he's installing. All of these billionaires, he's literally got billionaires in charge of cutting trillions of dollars out of the government, while at the same time they're getting ready to get a $4 trillion tax cut.
Yeah, but he has offered the average working man that he's going to give you a tax cut on overtime. You know, he's going to give you a tax cut on tips. Is he not doing for the working man as well?
If you believe that not paying taxes on your tips is going to change your station in life, then you don't understand financing.
What do you mean?
He's throwing out these little crumbs to make people believe he's really working for them. Working for the people would be providing them health care. Everybody. That would be helping me. That would be helping my family. That would be changing my station in life. Taking care of school debt would be taking things off of my plate that will allow me to go forward and progress.
I don't know. I got to push back under the guys that there's a lot of hourly Americans, people who are paid hourly, that a large portion of their income either comes from overtime or tips. Not imposing taxes on that, wouldn't that be good for your family and for your bottom line?
No, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be helpful, but when you're talking about moving a group from lower to middle class or middle class to upper class, those are not the types of things that are really going to help them.
I got it. No tax on overtime would not help them.
I didn't say it would not help them at all. I am saying it's not life-changing that you get an extra couple $100 a week. That's not going to change your living situation.
I don't think it's a couple $100 then, Cal. I think some people, if you gave them no taxes on overtime, it would represent, I mean, it could be a couple $100 per paycheck.
Right.
So an extra $400 or $500 a month, that wouldn't make a difference. That could be somebody's whole car note.
What would be the difference in giving everybody free health care? So that same people that's paying $300-400 a month or a paycheck now have free health care. They don't have to pay for prescription drugs. Like most of those people you're talking about is one accident away from going bankrupt.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that they even voted for Trump to get free health care, though. I think most Americans, we've seen with Barack Obama, most Americans don't even favor giving the American citizens free health care.
So there you have, you answered your own question about the empathy. Do we give a shit? Do we give a shit?
We don't give a shit. We're not necessarily favorable to, Americans at the bottom end of the scale. No.
Yeah, so I mean, when he throws out these little triscuits and people say, "Oh my God, my life is gonna change," while at the same time, the people he's put in charge literally have a stake in what the policy is. Do you think that Elon Musk really gives a shit about whether you get taxes? I mean, they just had a conversation. We all heard it, and Trump says whenever people try to organize, you just cut them. You get rid of them. You get them out of there.
Well, when you mentioned Elon Musk and some of the other wealthy people on Trump's cabinet, I think a lot of folks, because it worked very well with Trump, believe this country would be better off if ran by a businessman. So Trump saw it the first time and suggested, well, I'm going to take it even further. I'm going to put a bunch of businessmen in positions to run this country. Some people like that. Some people think that's a good idea.
Yeah, because a lot of them don't, well, look, I hate to always be on here sounding like I think I'm holier than thou. But that's an uneducated way of thinking, to believe that these people whose whole life is about making money is somehow now they're trying to give back. Like these billionaires want to get inside our government just to give back. No, they want to get in our government so they can control policy, so they can make more money.
Well, I will say this.
Nobody's going to give up being a CEO of a Fortune 500 company to go to the Department of Education.
Well,
as if they care about the damn kids that's going to those schools, because none of their kids are ever going to go to public school.
Is it possible to be a rich businessman and actually give a damn about everyday average people?
Yes, it is. But you can do a lot more on the outside of government, and being generous with your donations and doing things to move the needle in certain people's lives. You don't go from a Fortune 500 or somebody that's made billions of dollars and go down to a job that pays you $250,000 because you love people. That's not what they're doing.
Well, they're not in there, so we don't know. But I see in the comments, Johnny 11 referring to you says Dencal reminds me of Kamala Harris, qualified only on paper. Now, I want attacking you, obviously. Now, I want you to hear this one. This comes from His Lady Die, states on YouTube, says, healthcare is not a right. Taxpayers shouldn't be responsible for other people's healthcare. So that sounds like that's kind of the lacking of empathy you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, and that person that's talking, I'm sure probably has good health care, and they don't give a damn about nobody else. That's why they saying that. We see all first world countries in this in this world, have free health care for their people.
I got mine, you go get yours, in other words.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about your family. As long as my family is good, why would I want to help you? That's the thing. It's never about what happened to the old saying. It's not about what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. People don't give a shit about other people right now as long as they doing good.
But I was under the impression that if we vote for Trump, we would stop taking care of other countries and we would indeed do for each other. I mean, that was the whole thing. Stop giving money to the Ukraine so you can help out other Americans.
Right. So now we look at his platform, and we can see what are the programs. Where is he going to start helping the American people? What are the solutions? What is he putting forward in the place of giving money or trying to help other countries and keep alliances strong? What are the proposals that are on the table?
Well,
we got retribution going on in the DOJ. We got people totally unqualified trying to run the military. Where is this savior thing coming from? That what you saying they voted for? What proposals are on the table right now?
Well, right now, like I said, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. It's probably
yeah. Let's go save us, huh?
Yeah.
No tax on tips, and yeah.
We'll see. And I see in the comments, Snowbird says you Democrats lost for a reason. So he has a point that.
No, that's not a point.
Yeah, it is. Hold on. Hear me out. Everything you're criticizing Trump on, it's not like he didn't say what he was going to do before getting elected.
What does that have to do with me being wrong? Like, he conned people. He won. They didn't win. They think they won. They're having an imaginary party right now where they don't win anything and he wins everything.
So you don't believe Trump voters have won anything?
No. What did they win?
Well, they won border security. They've won. Go ahead.
They won the world in chaos. They thought it was in chaos before when Biden was in there, and we had two isolated wars that we were using as proxies, and we weren't using any of our blood, only a small percentage of our treasure. And you think that was the world on fire? Wait till we.
He's talking about but Trump has promised he's going to end the war. So he's promising to do the opposite of what you're accusing him of. He said he's going to end that war in 24 hours.
Well, he failed because he said he was going to do it in 24 hours and it didn't happen. So can I call him a liar or not?
He was exaggerating.
Exactly. That's why I'm exaggerating too.
All right, Dencal.
All of the Trump people are running around having a party, buying all of the Trump merch, investing, all of their moral, their values, and just throwing them out the window and thinking that they won. But we got a example of what this situation looks like as it totally unfolds. We got an example in history if people want to read.
All right, we'll see. We will see. But right now, people are expecting Trump to get in there and turn this country around for the better. So they have a different opinion of you, a different vision.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. You know, the last election, when we won and we put him out of office, and we thought the country was headed in the right direction, and instead of him modulating or trying to, to soften things up, he doubled and tripled down on everything, and
And it
they
worked. And it
and
worked.
a lot of people stayed home or voted third party or felt so disenfranchised that they would have, gone completely on the opposite side. So, people get what we get what we deserve.
All right. And that is Trump 2024. I got to move it on, then, Cal. Thank you. Appreciate it as always. All right, moving on with the program. We are talking about lacking of empathy as well. I did bring up United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, 50-year-old father, gunned down in cold blood on the streets of New York, and the comment section went wild. I'll go back to the box real quick here, but you can see either video or news stories of this guy losing his life all over social media, YouTube. You can see it on Facebook. You can see it on TikTok. And I read some of the comments. That looks like a pre-existing condition to me. That's a video of him getting shot. People putting that in the comment section. My empathy is out of network. Gone too late. I know he is looking up at us right now. That's what's on the comment. No empathy for this guy at all. What say you? Is it crazy that somebody lose their life like that? And these are the kind of comments coming in. I'll go back to the box. Continue on with Matt 40. Good evening, Matt. Welcome to the program. Do you ever allow educated callers to call in? Says Norm. Norm Durkin, you are welcome on the program any day. You know I don't block, ban, or censor. I'll give you plenty of time without any concern of limiting your speech. Feel free to call in and educate us all. Matt, good evening.
Hey, good afternoon. Just super quick, man. Somebody had said something about Dencal. I've been on lives with Dencal. I disagree with him fundamentally, but he is a veteran. He's an honorable man, and I would give the shirt off my back for that guy. So I don't care if you don't agree with his politics. Don't dog him. He's a good guy.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And that's how we should be. We should be able to agree to disagree without all of the dogging out. But listen, I got thick skin. I get it every day on the program, my damn self. So what do you think, though? Now, you said you disagree with Dencal, so you lean right. I'll ask you the second part of the show. Should Biden pardon Trump's hit list? Or better yet, in your case, do you think he will? My caller got...
Right off the bat.
Say that again?
Getting deep right off the bat.
That's what we do here. Now, when I say hit list, I'm talking General Milley, I'm talking Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, people like Dr. Fauci. Because Trump, and to some degree, Steve Bannon, has made it clear that these folks, Jim Comey, that they're going to go after these people. So should Biden maybe nip it in the bud by offering them pardons?
You know, I think that, for the good of the country, absolutely.
Wow. So now you voted for Trump, right?
I did not.
Oh, I thought you would have voted for. Okay, so you disagree with Dencal politically, but you're not Trump supporting.
There are policies I agree with. I couldn't vote for him on moral stance.
You didn't vote for Kamala Harris, right?
I actually didn't get to vote at all.
Okay. What is it about Trump's morals? Because you agree with his policies. I'm assuming you agree with securing the border. You agree with ending the wars. So what is it about Trump's morals that would have made you not want to vote for him?
I have 2 daughters and a granddaughter, and I can't look them in the eye and say the most powerful man on earth we picked said that it's okay to grab a woman by her, you know. I can't look my kids in the eye and say this is the man that we need to lead our country.
So you didn't vote for him ever?
No.
Okay. But I'm hearing from Trump, for many of his supporters, that, listen, that's just locker room talk, and that's how guys talk when they're around each other.
Well, I'm a veteran as well, and I can assure you that I've never heard that. I mean, granted, there are disgusting people out there, so you can't say nobody does, but no, I can't. You don't get to just excuse bad behavior and say, oh, that's just the boys being boys. I raised my son better than that. I raised my daughters better than that. I was raised better than that.
Wow. So it's safe to say you believe that Trump lacks moral standing.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Wow. But let me ask you, okay, because some folks would, even his supporters will often say, listen, I'm not saying you got to love the guy, but the policies and the way how about the way he led this country? How do you think America was ran under the first Trump administration?
There were some really good things, and
let's start with that. Give me some examples of the quote unquote good things.
For me personally, the Mission Act helped me access VA healthcare. So that, and for me, I always care about, veterans first. That's my top priority. But the healthcare access was good. I did like what he did with NATO, going over and just saying point blank in front of the cameras and shocked everybody and said, hey, you need to increase your spending, period. I think especially looking at the Ukraine war, countries that had already beefed up their defense spending and gave a faster and easier response to Russia. I think that helped Europe in whole. There were.
What about the economy?
So much of the economy was a holdover of policies that came from President Obama.
I've heard that many times. Yeah.
Yep. And I think there were some bad parts, and we can, Monday morning quarterback and say like for the infectious disease council or whatever it was. I don't know what they were called, but basically the group that tracks those, like C-19 and whatnot, was disbanded, had a huge effect on our economy. And I think that it was one of those where it's like, oh, we're immune, we see.
So what is your take on, okay, because we had a pandemic, first real serious pandemic we've had in most of our lifetimes. I know there was Ebola and the bird flu, but the C-19 was far worse. How do you view Trump's handling of that pandemic?
Not good. Not good at all.
How so? What do you believe he did that was wrong?
I don't think that we took it serious fast enough. Like I said, when you talk about like Ebola and things of that nature, those are major life-threatening viruses, diseases out there.
Right.
But the U.S. has always been immune. It's like, oh, we have, a handful of cases here. And I think that's probably what was happening in the White House. They're like, oh, yeah, this is really bad, but it never happens here. And so we just kind of shrugged it off in the beginning is how it feels.
And do you blame any of that on Trump?
To a certain extent, yes. Not moving fast enough.
Now, what about Dr. Fauci, who was over the C-19 task force, and many on the right believe he was just doing a shitty job? Do you believe that Trump should perhaps hold him accountable in any way, shape, or form?
Like you said, within our lifetime, this is the biggest pandemic. It's the first global pandemic in any of our lifetimes. To say that anyone could handle it better or worse, I believe that everyone that was involved did the best that they could with the information that we had. Granted, we could have done better on keeping track of information on things, but I think everyone did the best that they could based on the information that they had available. And that's one thing I will say for Trump, what was it, Project Warp something, whatever, to get
Warp Speed, Project Warp Speed.
Get the vaccine as quick as possible. I feel like Democrats against Trump and Republicans against Biden, both presidents, as far as the vaccine, I feel like they did the best they could on getting that vaccine out as quick as possible.
Now, it's interesting what you saying that you believe Trump kind of, to some degree, did the best he could. On YouTube, you've got, what is this person's name is, you've got Red on you says that Trump lied to us. He knew how serious it was and still lied about it. Do you see any validity in that at all?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
then he did a really bad job, in your opinion. I mean, if he knew how bad it was and continued to lie, I mean, to some degree, that almost should be like dereliction of duty or something.
Well, but I would look historically and say U.S. presidents generally don't really tell everyone the whole story until it's too late. You know, if you look at the Cuban Missile Crisis, you know, like we knew what was happening before the American public knew. I was stationed overseas on 9/11. And I was with the military police. We went into a heightened state of alert 18 hours before anything happened in New York. Like there are things that the government knows that they are not going to share.
Whoa. So you're saying 18 hours before the first plane crashed into whatever tower that was? You saying 18 hours you went into a heightened state of alert?
We were on threat condition Charlie 18 hours before.
Damn. Wow. That's bad. That's really bad.
And in the defense that came out afterwards was that they knew something was going to happen, but they didn't know what. So and I was stationed in South Korea at the time, so it wasn't like it was, you know, here stateside where it's like, hey, we know. It was worldwide. All military installations were put on threat condition Charlie, and again, was that out there in the news? Did George Bush come out and say, hey guys, we're expecting a terror? No, of course there was nothing that came out, and I feel like that just happens. Generally, from a presidential standpoint, U.S. presidents know all kinds of bad things could possibly happen, and rather than telling the American people everything that could possibly go wrong, regardless of
I agree with you. You don't want to scare the shit out of the public by telling them everything. But if you're on a heightened state of alert worldwide, you should maybe let them start. You know what they say, see something, say something. You should maybe run some kind of advertisement, like be what I want to say, not diligent, but pay attention, keep your head on the swivel, something of that nature. You could run it on, because after that happened, we did start having these cold orange, I mean, remember that they were doing that.
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's one of those where, again, in hindsight, we're 2020. You know, look at how Bush responded when the attack happened. You know, he's sitting there in front of a classroom full of kids. Did he jump up and run towards Air Force One? No, remain calm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, what's the best way to handle a situation? I think everybody honestly just does the best that they can, and I can't judge because I'm not in those shoes.
Fair enough. In regards to your comment before I move it on C19, Sheldon Walsh on YouTube says, do you think that maybe the Democrats played politics with the reporting of your country's statistics? Do you really think, say, India would do better? Come on. So do you see where any politics may have been played in this stuff?
In C19?
Yeah.
Reporting? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, people.
We had a buddy that was in a motorcycle accident, and he also had C19, and they said he passed away from C19. It's like he was literally hit by a car.
Wow.
And succumbed to his injuries.
Jesus
but
Christ.
He was reported as a C19 death.
Damn. You know, I saw a guy under the knee of a police officer. I think it was in Minneapolis somewhere, and they said he died of C19, and he was under that dude's knee for like 9 minutes, and people said the same thing about him. So I do agree that people were pinning every damn thing on C19. If you died during that era, somebody may have said you died of C19. So I could certainly see some politicization of it. I could see that. All right, I got to move it on, but so pardoning Trump's hit list, you think he should?
I don't know if I think he should, but I wouldn't be mad if he did.
Wow.
I've got so much respect for General Milley. Fauci, I go back and forth, but at the end of the day, the man's dedicated his life to service to his country. Whether he made the right choices or not, again, I think you do the best you can. So whether he should or shouldn't, I don't really know one way or another, but I wouldn't be mad if he did.
Fair enough. Appreciate you coming through, Matt.
Appreciate you. Have a good day.
First time talking?
Yes, sir.
All right, don't be a stranger. Come on back anytime.
Thank you.
All right, moving on with the program. And I will say this before I go to the next caller. I will say this in regards to Dr. Fauci, because I know a lot of my beloved MAGA do want him, his head on a stake or whatever the case may be. Fauci's a messenger. Dr. Fauci does not pass legislation, does not make rules, or sign anything into policy. He merely assesses a situation from a standpoint of being a virologist and then offers advice. At the end of the day, oh my God, I said I said people want his head on the stake. Creek says piano wire. For you folks who have seen the mafia movies where the guy in the back seat goes around the guy's neck with the piano wire to Dr. Fauci's like 80-something years old. His whole fucking head might come off. But anyway, Dr. Fauci is a messenger, and that's cruel piano wire. Dr. Fauci is a messenger. You don't have to take any of the advice he gives. In fact, Trump didn't even have to let him continue being the messenger. Dr. Fauci got his fame. His claim to fame was from being the head of the HIV task force, which he done a great job with limiting the effects of HIV. Trump could have put him back on that and gave it to Ben Carson or somebody. So if this guy is giving poor messages and you leave him out there and allow him to continue doing it, I have to ask the obvious question, what does that say about Trump? Because Trump is on television with Dr. Fauci and he's standing next to the guy and the guy's talking about you need to social distance or wash down your damn groceries or all the other advice that Dr. Fauci was giving. Then Trump would go to a rally that evening and they're yelling fire Dr. Fauci, and Trump's, right along with him smirking while they're all yelling fire this guy. And then within 24 hours, Trump is back on TV with him, standing next to him as he offers more advice. This is why I strongly believe that the messaging, at least from MAGA, is so mixed. It's because Trump, being the leader of the party, certainly gave mixed messaging. If Dr. Fauci sucks, why are you on TV with him? And then you at the rallies at night saying fire the guy. Why don't you just remove that? I don't believe Trump could have fired him. I don't believe Trump had the power to fire him, but he could have reallocated him and put somebody else over the C-19 task force. Why leave him out there if you don't know what the hell he's talking about? Which is why I'm asking him, what does that say about Trump? Because Fauci is just a messenger. You don't have to take none of his advice. None of it. Looking in the comments real quick, Trump lied to you and you don't care, says Charles Vaughn. Well, feel free to state, how did he lie? I'd like to know. Let me go back to the box, continuing on with another subscriber there, Mike. Always get his subscribers first digs. Mike, what do you think? Trump's hit list, do you believe... Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Would you favor Biden pardoning Trump's hit list? Mike, are you there? Okay, I'm gonna move it on. Apparently Mike is either having some audio trouble or something of that nature. We'll continue going right on with Travelman 98. Good evening, Travelman. Pardoning Trump's hit list. Travelman, good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing good, just hanging around like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting. So, do you believe that Biden should perhaps pardon some of the folks that are on the chopping block from the Trump administration coming in?
Well, look here. They're very vindictive. They are very vindictive. These people want, everybody get on Hunter Biden's case, right? Hunter Biden's a private citizen. They went to that man for 4 years. They're still going after him.
True. But he did commit a crime, did he not?
Pam Bondi has already said, this thing about Republicans, they tell you what they're going to do.
Which is being true. Go ahead. No, that's a good thing though, right? If you're saying the Republicans tell you what they're going to do, isn't that a good thing? That's transparent. You don't want to elect somebody who tells you one thing and then do something totally different, do you?
What I'm saying is, they're telling everybody, we're going to go after these people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just one or two people saying that. Everybody that is coming into that administration in some kind of legal capacity, they're all saying it.
Well, they believe the people were... You're right. they're saying it, but they saying it because they believe these people were harmful to America.
Okay, so they're harmful to America too. But see, what I'm saying is they have the legal capacity. They have the legal capacity to go after these people now. They're saying it, right?
Yeah.
It's just like when Comer opened that impeachment inquiry for 2 years and nothing came of it because it was BS. But that didn't stop them from doing it.
Well, let's start out with.
He tried to do his first term, man, but he had the roadblocks up. He couldn't do it. Let's
start out with somebody like General Milley. I think there is a legitimate case to be made that he violated the chain of command. I mean, if they have a legitimate case, you don't think so?
No.
Contacting your Chinese counterpart and letting Nancy Pelosi know you did it without the president knowing? You know, he takes an oath to the president of the United States, not Nancy Pelosi.
No. He takes an oath to the Constitution. Everybody in the military takes an oath to the Constitution. He felt that we were on the brink, and he needed to reach out to these people so they won't do something stupid. And that's what he did.
So you're telling me anybody in the military that feels like the current administration might do something stupid, they can just reach out to our adversary and do that?
Don't extrapolate, bro. He was the chief. He was joint chiefs. He was joint chiefs. He's communicating with his counterpart in China. What's wrong with that?
You can't.
He's letting them know. He's letting them know that nothing is changing.
But how can you do that when you're not the one making the changes? You can't tell your counterpart that you don't have to worry about anything when you're not the one that has control of it. I mean, Trump could do whatever he wanted to do as president. You can't tell your counterpart.
See, let's go back to this right here. That's a fallacy. Okay, he cannot do whatever he wants to do. What do you mean?
You know what I mean?
Whatever he wants to do. You mean as far as nuclear?
I mean, as far as something, as you say, something crazy. Maybe if Trump wanted to do something, like order a small strike or something like that. There are some things he can do without Congress, small excursions. And he
can do it. He can do it without Congress, but he can't do it without the backing of the generals.
But the generals can't go against his orders.
If they think it's illegal, if they get the JAG Corps to look at it, and the JAG Corps come back and say, technically, this is illegal, you don't have to follow order that's illegal.
And I see Will G in the comments is saying Trump is not shit. Here's the thing though. You can't, I mean, he did it proactively. It's not like Trump issued a radical order and then, maybe he stepped in or whatever. He proactively said, you don't have to worry about any radical order this guy issues. I'm not going to follow it, to something of that nature. And you're saying that's totally legit? They can do that?
No. What I'm saying is he probably followed the protocol that he has to follow as far as communicating with his peer in China. Okay? Mm-hmm. I'm not, and I can bet you whatever he said was really diplomatic and really tactful. Okay? You have to do that. You have to do that.
So he can contact, because he was the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, so he's pretty damn high up. I mean, in fact, he's right under Trump for controlling the military to something. So you're saying he can do that without ever telling Trump he did it?
See, this is the thing. Y'all make it seem as though this is something that these guys would do all the time, right?
No, because they would get if they did it all the time, they'd be held accountable.
See, in order to make, just think about this. In order for him to pick up that phone, he had to really think that something may happen. In his professional mind, 20-some, 30 years in the military, as the chairman, he had to look at the whole situation, and then based on what he saw, he made the decision that, hey, we need to make sure we quell this at this level right here so that they don't get the wrong idea. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but I disagree with the way you're looking at it. I don't see how we would ever want generals given their own discretion. If they think the president is a radical, they can reach out to whoever they want and make promises that may be irrespective of the thoughts of the president on their own because they thought that president was a radical. Is that how the military works?
So what if that president was on the precipice? What if he was on the precipice of getting ready to do something?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, so he's looking at the whole situation.
Well, but
he's looking at the. I don't see. First of all, let me give you full disclosure. I remember when he did it. I don't know exactly why he did. I don't remember that, but I know for a fact that if something is going on, you need to reach out to your counterpart. That's not the.
And the president don't get to know about it. And the president don't get to know about it.
Well, maybe in this particular instance, no. But in other instances, when they reached out, they've done it with the consent of the president, probably. But we haven't had a president like Trump, you know. So we can't say because we haven't had a president like Trump.
Well, but Trump was perceived to be radical and that he might do it, but he never did it. This kind of reminds me. I don't know for some of you.
Trump is a punk. He a punk. You see, everybody go on this perception thing, right? He said it. You are the president of the United States. So what you say, people take that's what you mean.
Yeah, they should.
Okay? And so all this, you know, what you just said, I don't go for that. I don't go with it. You're the president of the United States. Everybody always trying to dress up what he says. No. This is what he said. This is what he meant. You're the president of the United States. Quit trying to explain it.
Yeah, but General Milley doesn't have anything to cite where Trump said it. He did this proactively thinking Trump may say or order something. That never happened. He was wrong.
Now you're going on speculation. Because unless you got that TSSCI document, you don't know what was going on.
Well, then if they go after him, then Milley will have to show why he did it.
I'm quite sure he has it.
Okay.
I'm quite sure Milley has the backup to do what he did.
I don't know. So what do you think?
And not only did he have the backup to do what he did, all the other secretaries also backed him up.
So then I do agree with that, but let me ask you this then. So you obviously think General Milley was correct then?
Oh, yeah, as far as what I know, you got to stay on top of things.
So what you saying he may have evidence out there to back up why he did this. Should Biden pardon him, or if he has the evidence, let him be able to present that when because Trump's camp is talking about going after General Milley. Should Biden pardon him ahead of time?
Biden, I think he should pardon. I think he should pardon the people. Okay. I think he should, and the reason I think he should pardon them is because he's not like a normal administration where they come in and say, okay, you know what, this is what we're taking over. Everybody go by. Okay, you was the Joint Chiefs going on about your business, going to retirement, do what you're gonna do, and that's it. You don't hear anything from them again. Right. This is not a normal administration. They're coming in for the last 4 years. For the last 4 years, they have been compiling a list of people that they want. It's what he call it, a retribution tour. Yeah. Okay. So he's been saying this for 3 or 4 years. We're going to come after people. I am your retribution. Well, so would it be right for him? Would it be right for Biden to leave these people sitting out there?
Well, Trump feels like they were after him, so he's only returning a favor. I got to move it on,
Hold on a minute, bro.
Real quick, go ahead.
Why does everybody seem to think that people were after Trump? Like he didn't do anything. He did it.
Well, let me.
He ran for office. He started running 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, to stay out of jail. That's why he ran for office. Right. Everybody, people that follow this kind of stuff, they know why he ran. You know, that's why he ran. You know, all that stuff that he did, all that, you know, and they did right by, you know, dismissing it with prejudice so they can bring it back later if they want to. You know, I mean, Trump did things and he said things, and then when people react to it, then he's being attacked.
The man is innocent until proven guilty. You can't say he did all this stuff without him being proven guilty in the court of law.
He got indicted.
Okay.
He got indicted. He had top secret SCI documents in his house.
So did Biden. So did Biden and Mike Pence.
Yeah, but the problem is the Biden and Mike Pence, when they found the documents or the documents were discovered, those documents were returned. Okay, Trump was not indicted on anything he returned. He was indicted on the documents that he kept and refused to return, and they had to go get a subpoena.
Yeah.
That's why he got indicted, not because he had them.
Yeah,
He got indicted for not returning them.
he was uncooperative. I'm not going to argue with that. All right, I got to move it on.
He need to go to jail.
I don't think that's going to happen, though. All right, Travelman.
But I mean, hey, and what was that other question you had? You had the empathy thing.
Yeah, I got to move it on. We kind of went long on that one, but real quick, how do you feel about that? The fact that everybody seems to be okay with this guy getting murdered.
Because we are a very rude society right now.
Mm.
It is anger. There's anger in the country, and people are taking it out on each other, so they don't give a damn about anybody. I don't know what you got a little age on you. You ever seen the country in this state that is in right now, as far as the anger between people?
No, it's a good point. No, I haven't. No.
I mean, there's no empathy. People just don't care about other people.
Well, the good thing is we got Trump now, and he'll surely unite this country. Travelman?
Yeah, he's gonna unite it. He's gonna unite it. I got a lot of faith in that.
All right, appreciate you coming through. Being sarcastic, I'm sure he knows that. Moving on, you don't like talking to people who disrespect Donald Trump. Really? I've been accused of doing that myself there, Timothy. He's saying that I don't like talking to people who disrespect. That's what's really jacked up about kind of being in the middle. It's because all of my MAGA viewers believe I'm a damn libtard, and I'm a bleeding heart liberal, and I don't want to hear from MAGA. And the liberals are just like, who the hell is that? Timothy Lee in the comments. Is that I don't want to hear from liberals. Both sides see that. You don't pick a side. I get it. With Timothy Lee, you can come up anytime. Give you plenty of time to state your point as well. You guys know I don't block, ban, or censor anyone. So if this is the type of dialogue you favor, I'm going to ask that you follow the program, subscribe, YouTube viewers, YouTube horizontal, YouTube vertical. But yeah, we are for free speech here. We're going to left the Bernie Sanders from having dinner with Q. Everyone does get to speak. This isn't a program where the host takes sides. So if you favor that type of program, this isn't it. This isn't it. I'm going to challenge any damn thing that I may hear that doesn't sound right. Now, that doesn't mean I'm a know-it-all. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That's why we have a free speech program. I get corrected all the time, educated and such, and then sometimes I can return the favor. We're about free speech. So that's how it works here. Looking in the comments real quick, Trump has dangerous created a situation that Americans hate Americans. Charles Vaughn, you're saying that Trump has created a dangerous situation causing Americans to hate America. That's what Milley said. I think it was General Milley that said that Trump was trying to divide everybody up and things like that. I've heard a lot of people say that. I'll just simply say this. In politics, division is political capital. It works on both sides. However, I do personally believe in my own analysis, Trump does it more than most people. Simply put, Trump says more than most people. We can say, a lot of folks say division started with Obama. Others say Kamala Harris was being divisive. And I'm sure that we can come up with all kinds of quotes from Obama. They cling to their guns and Bibles, or, Kamala Harris, yeah, they've said, but the thing about it is this: for every word that comes out of Obama's mouth, comes out of Biden's mouth, comes out of Kamala Harris's mouth, there's probably 100 that comes out of Trump's mouth. Simply put, he talks more than his adversaries. He holds more rallies. So he's going to do more of it by simple math because he talks more. So I do believe that Trump is considerably more divisive than those other folks because, how many rallies has President Biden held while he's been president? Very few. When Trump was president, he was still holding rallies and gatherings and saying divisive stuff. So you're going to get a lot more of it from Trump just because he likes the cameras and like talking. And I see in the comments, Charles Ross says Trump is notable different. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Trump took home nuclear secrets. What do you think he was going to do with that? Assuming you're correct that Trump had nuclear secrets on them. What do you think was the purpose of that? I mean, why would a citizen need, why would you need to take that home with you after the job is over with? Let me go back to the box, not to mention how valuable it might be. It certainly would be valuable. Frank, good evening. Welcome to the program, Frank. Let me ask that you folks tap the screen. I haven't asked that. Smash that like button. Tap the screen, get the likes up to about 25,000. We can make that happen on TikTok. Smash that like button on YouTube. Frank, good evening.
Hello.
Hey,
can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, I only have one question,
Sure.
which is frustrating. This thing about we elected a new president, so why can't the old president go in there to the White House Oval Office, empty out the drawers, we give him a week, move out the furniture, the new guy moves in and starts working. Why do we have to wait 2.5 months? That's ridiculous.
Well, that's based on tradition. Used to be when you won the presidency, everybody was traveling by rail. So it took time for all of the senators to come to Washington for inauguration. That's why that's theirs, because the travel in this country used to be much slower back in the founding days, and people traveling by horse and shit to come there for. Well, now obviously they can get there in a few hours, but they haven't changed that tradition. That's why you got this 2-month gap. It was reserved for travel time for everybody to get to Washington.
Well, it's time to change it. Let's update it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, but if you did that, I kind of wonder what, because if you knew the minute you lost they were gonna kick your ass out, I kind of wonder how that would work towards the end. It really hasn't been a problem until recent. You had a 2-month gap, so be it. But when George W. Bush handed it over to Obama, or when George W. Bush took it from Clinton, well, the Al Gore thing was in there, but it used to be a peaceful transition of power.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's 2024. Let's get updated.
So what do you want? You lose on Tuesday. How soon should you be out?
1 week.
Damn. You got all of the staff and interns and all of that. I mean, it would be chaotic. People got to move furniture out of offices. I mean, you only get a week.
Yeah,
That's fast. That's fast.
We already lost 3.5 years. Let's get going.
Are you saying this just because you want to kick Biden out?
No, I mean let's update it and keep the new tradition for all the future presidents that are coming and going.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Now this is somewhat related, and I'll show you how it ties in. But who won the 2020 election? And I'm gonna tell you how this ties in. I'm asking you this for a reason.
Biden.
Okay. Now Trump was disputing it, right?
Yeah.
How does that work if he's got to get out of there in a week?
I don't have all the answers.
Okay, all right. That's what I'm
just
saying.
wondering why we got to wait 2.5 months.
All right.
Okay, let's make it a month. Well, I'll secede to a month.
All
you get
right.
a month. The outgoing guy gets 2 weeks. The other guy gets 2 weeks. Or I'll compromise. But 2.5 months is too damn long.
Okay.
In my opinion. I
don't know what's so bad about the 2.5 months. As long as we have a peaceful transition of power, that's not really that bad. I mean, like I said, unless you really think Biden sucks so bad, as you said, we've wasted 3.5 years. We need to get him out of here as soon as possible.
Yeah, I kind of am.
Yeah, so it ain't that you got a problem with the transition. You just got a problem with all of the waste we've had with Biden. So you want his ass out of there like yesterday.
Even if the situation was reversed and Trump was the one leaving and Biden was coming in, I'd still say the same thing.
Okay.
We need to do it as fast. I mean, we're not using horse and buggy anymore, and we can just do a Zoom. We don't need to waste all the lumber and the flags to set up the stand with the band. The new guy has work to do, whoever it is, even in 2039, whatever that's going to be.
So how long does the new president get to make his cabinet picks? You moving so damn quick.
Oh, he's making cabinet picks now, right?
And he's one of the quickest ones in recent history. Normally they got to get, and keep in mind, his cabinet picks, none of them have been back checked by the FBI or nothing like that. A month is really fast. And I had to push you up to a month. You wanted his ass out the next day. There's not enough time to do all of that. You move it too quick.
Okay, I suppose. I admit when I'm wrong. No
All
worries.
right. But I understand your sentiment. You're not the only one that went biting out like yesterday, but just look at the logistics of it. I mean, you're making a huge move. Senators all over the country. I mean, you're making a big move like that. To make it that quick, I think that would be really chaotic.
Okay, that's cool.
All right.
We can agree to disagree to a degree.
Okay.
I love the show. Keep it going. Thanks.
Anytime, man. Appreciate you coming through.
All right.
All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. Let's see if we can get it up to 30. Some of you guys are showing some love for the program. So tap the screen, smash that like button on YouTube. You want to tell this man to hush, says Dexter Beck. So is Trump's fault. Laughing my ass off. I don't know what you mean by that, Larry. People just calling him to be in the light. He don't know what he said. Be nice to my guest. General Milley lied. As it says, the unredacted document of him denying Trump helped 2 days before January 6th is available. I repeat, General Milley lied, says Scare Bear. And I think we'll find out if Biden doesn't pardon him. I don't know if what General Milley did was a crime. In my humble opinion, it sounds like he may have acted beyond his scope of duties. Based on what I've heard, I've had a guest on here say that I don't know he didn't say I didn't know what I was talking about, but he disagreed with me, and that's fine. But based on what I've heard, General Milley sounded like he went above and beyond his scope of duty. And I do believe if Trump, or better yet, if Biden does not pardon Milley, we'll find out whether he's guilty or not. Because I do believe they will have him up. I think this involves calling him out of retirement. Because he's retired. I believe it would have, if I'm correct, somebody can let me know in the comments, because I don't know how the military works when it's a retired person. But I believe it involves calling him out of retirement, because there's a certain period of time they can call you back. They would call him back in the service simply to discipline and punish the shit out of him. And of course, his pension and all of that, they're going after all of that. Probably his medals, not to mention his freedom. All of that would be in his legacy, you name it. All of that's on the table. Biden may pardon Trump just to bring the country together, says Pete. I don't think Biden pardoning Trump would even do that. Fact is, Trump don't need Biden's pardon. First of all, he can pardon himself, first of all. Second of all, even if Trump doesn't pardon Trump and Biden doesn't pardon Trump, Trump is not likely to face any type of real punishment again anyway. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And if Trump is pardoned by Biden, he'll probably get up there and say exactly what I just said. I didn't even need this shit. I didn't do nothing wrong. You know, you pardon your son, now you want to try to throw me in the same blanket. No, I don't. I mean, Trump isn't, just like when Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski of MSNBC went and met Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and folks are saying, look, they're trying to reach out to the guy or whatever after calling him the Adolf, the mustache man for so many years. They're trying to reach out to him. They went and met him at Mar-a-Lago, and the next day Trump went on social media and just trashed the shit out of them. So my take is this. Even if you do reach out to Trump for some type of olive branch or try some type of unity or whatever the case may be, if he got the goods on you, that ain't going to help you out at all. He'll still trash you. And if Biden pardons Trump, I don't think that's going to make a difference. That's my opinion. They tried to say today that they did nothing wrong. Who tried to say that? You can't tell people that Trump is a fascist and all these awful things, and then you go down and meet with him at Mar-a-Lago. It looks bad. Just like Biden. Biden has said all kinds of bad shit about Trump, about MAGA. And then you invite the dude to the White House and you taking pictures, shaking his hand. Trump would never have done that. Trump would never have met with Biden and shook his hand. If Trump had a loss, he wasn't going to shake hands with Kamala Harris and none of that shit, which is why a lot of people favor Trump. It's because he doesn't waver like that. He's going to, look, if he hates you, he's going to continue hating you. With Trump, everything is personal. Let me go back to the box. Thanks some of you folks that are sharing the live. It helps out. I appreciate that. DJ D's 2021. Thank you for sharing the live. Let me go back to the box. Stick the ruler. Good evening, Stick. The devil, the Bible speaks of Trump. I'd like to know the verse. Will, you're saying the devil, the Bible speaks of Trump. Are they speaking of him in a positive light or negative? Stick, good evening.
Hey, how you doing, Tim? How you doing?
I'm doing better than the CEO of United Healthcare who lost his life yesterday. Yeah, I'm asking, does America like empathy? This guy gets smoked on camera. And there are all sorts of comments on literally any story about this guy. If you look at the comments, everybody, for the most part, don't give a damn about him losing his life. I read some comments out earlier where they said people were like thoughts and deductibles to his family. My prayers are unfortunately out of network. That looks like a pre-existing condition to me, somebody else said when he got shot. Somebody else said, I just know he is looking up at us right now. Another person said, gone too late. Gone too late. So do we lack empathy in this country when you would see a man gunned down in cold blood? And the comment section on any of these stories is just, they don't give a damn about this man.
Well, I would just say this. I don't even know who he's tied to.
He's the CEO of United. He's the CEO of United Healthcare. People are pissed off with the healthcare system in this country. This guy made $10.2 million last year, and people in the comments talking about how their grandma died and all that. They were denied coverage and all of this stuff. That's where it's coming from.
Oh, okay. So I get it, and it's surprising to me that they don't feel the same way towards Trump with C-19. It's just surprising to me.
You're like, saying that Trump is responsible for C-19 deaths?
Yeah, in a very big way. He had a plan and he got rid of it. It was Barack Obama's contingency plans for when things got bad with outbreaks and pandemics and epidemics and different stuff like that. He had it all mapped out for him. Look, this is all you got to do. Throw this in hand and you straight. But he didn't want to take advice or he didn't want to listen to a black man. He wanted to put that white power out there real quick, and he got rid of it. So then when the actual pandemic hit, he wasn't prepared.
You said that, you said something pretty controversial to some degree. You said he did not want to take orders from a black man. You believe that Trump had an issue with Obama solely based on skin color?
Among other things. I mean, look at him. Look at Obama's family compared to Trump's family. And I mean, he got extended family members because he's been married like 3 times. So again, Obama wins again. It's another W.
How does Obama win? How is Obama winning in that case?
What do you mean? How is he winning? He's got one wife. He's got 2 children. He's got a nice dog. And he was the president of the United States. On top of all of that, he was a black man.
Yeah, but Trump got multiple.
He accomplished it before Trump could do it.
Yeah, but Trump got multiple wives. One's a supermodel. He got multiple children. He's incredibly wealthy. I mean,
that tight-faced broad, man, they smeared her all over Russian TV. She ain't worth nothing.
You said tight-faced broad? Jeez.
Man, yeah, she ain't worth nothing, man. She married Trump just to be a United States citizen, number 1, and number 2, she married into the money.
You're telling me that relationship is not consummated on love?
Not at all. Not at all. Nope. She's there because he needs something shiny on his hip, and she went and got her face tuned up a couple of times, and she's the shiniest penny you ever seen in your life.
What makes you say she don't have some kind of plastic surgery? She might. I mean, she was a supermodel. She just might be naturally beautiful.
She could be, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm just being honest with you. I don't believe it. Her face is too tight for her to be that old. No, stop playing with me, Tim. Come on now. Let's be honest. We got to be critical, just like everybody else can be critical.
You sure that you just in a case of you not liking the Trumps? You got derangement syndrome, as they say.
Listen, Melania ain't did nothing to me. Melania ain't did nothing to me.
Yeah, but you don't like her husband. You don't like her husband, though.
But that's a guy. That's a man. That's a male. Me and him can go mano a mano. At the end of the day, me and her don't have any beef. My only problem is the lies. And the lies is you don't look like that just because you look like that. You look like that because you got your face stretched out and it's tight as hell. Your smile ain't a smile. You look like somebody like we already talked about that goddamn 007 would hit, but he wouldn't trust. So yeah, he'll hit it, but he won't trust it.
So you're saying that that Melania Trump is not natural, like say Michelle Obama?
Yeah, she's not natural like that at all. And even with that, she tried to copy her whole speech, and
that did happen.
Plagiarism. Yeah, the plagiarism is horrible. And then wearing the jacket, you don't care, or whatever the case may. Like, again, I still don't even have any like ill will towards her in the sense of you married the wrong man. And we know why you married the wrong man.
Why is he? Wait.
All your right reasons.
All of the things that Melania Trump has had done for her because she married Trump. Why is he the wrong man?
No, she married the wrong man as far as morally. Getting ahead is something totally different.
Shit,
like right now, the vibe I'm getting is, well, she's getting ahead, right? But then when it comes to Kamala, when she do it, oh no. See, she shouldn't be okay. If women get ahead by doing that, then it is what it is.
So you said you comparing Trump to Willie Brown?
I'm comparing Trump to anybody, to any damn body that you can sleep with to get ahead. Elon Musk. Have you ever seen that man pale as hell, not butt ass nigga, but you know, with his little Speedos on, walking around with that horrible body he got going on?
Well, he ain't exactly a sex symbol. I get it.
So that's my point, but he got billions of dollars. So who ain't gonna try to sleep with Elon Musk to get ahead?
Yeah, that would be a hell of
happens.
That would be a hellified child support check. I gotta admit that. Yeah, okay. So
it happens.
So the question we're asking is, should Biden pardon Trump's hit list? And before you answer that, Sean Herbert says, wait for Trump's paid-off doctor to say he is the healthiest man alive without ever showing. And that did happen. Trump's doctor did say he was ill. And many suggested Trump wrote the letter himself, but that did happen the first time. What do you think about Trump? Trump he will be the oldest president in history to be inaugurated. Does he come across as healthy to you?
I mean, his lifestyle shows me all the unhealthy things that I need to see.
He outlived Richard Simmons.
And I get it, but even Floyd Mayweather, a boxer, he's known to stay up all night and party and drink. But well, guess what he's also known to do? Go to work out out for about 4 or 5 hours a night.
Trump plays a lot of golf. There's a whole lot of what does he walk in there? Probably not. Okay, so but I'm assuming he does something.
Oh, come on, Tim. See, and that's the thing. I told you the other day. Trump really ain't the problem. He's like the virus or the diagnosis or whatever you want to call it. The problem is all the backing he gets, all the people telling him, "Oh man, don't worry about what they're saying. You're Trump. You're right. Those are the people that are really gearing him up to say these things and do these things. Whether you want to say it's the rich guy sitting next to him that acts like a kid, jumps up and down on stage, or whether you want to talk to when he does go out and talk to the public, the old no teeth ass dude that really compares himself. He wants to be like Trump, but he don't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of.
You make it sound like I got to disagree with you. You make it sound like Trump is a puppet. I don't think nobody controls the strings of Trump. You making it sound like he is not him, but people are controlling him.
No, not that they're controlling him. They're feeding him. They are telling him he's right about everything. They're not disagreeing with nothing that he says. And if they do disagree with it, instead of disagreeing with it flat out, like some of your guests don't do, DJ Julio calling you out, you make all these excuses for the man. You twist and put yourself in pretzels just to.
All right. Well, let me
How about this?
hold on. Hold on. Let me do what I don't normally do, and I want to make sure I get your permission. I got a guest that has an opposing opinion of you. He wants to be on with you. We'll give you a few minutes. If as long as it remains civil, we'll have it happen. Are you okay with that?
Oh, I'm cool with that.
All right.
Cool with that, Tim.
Now, this individual, this is Big Rich Oakland, obviously believes that you're hammering Trump maybe a bit too much. Big Rich, not to be confused with Big and Rich, but Big Rich, if the box brings him up, it looks like it's kind of hesitating there. Big Rich, good evening. Big Rich, are you there? I think Big Rich got a signal problem. Well, maybe we can't make it. Yeah,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, but you're.
Hear you, bro.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, William.
Yeah, he got a.
Okay, hey. So the only thing I would say, I disagree.
Go-
I disagree in this fashion. I disagree with him about Trump's wife. Trump's wife is an asset. Is actually could be a Russian asset for the simple fact that she speaks the language. She's able to translate. She's able to translate that conversation from Putin to her husband. Now she may not be exactly, you know what I'm saying, the Russian from Russia, but she can speak that language. So Trump needed her even back in the day for negotiations on those land projects that he had in Russia. So she's really an asset to Trump in Russia. You know what I mean? You want to figure out how Trump got all that money? Well, think about it. Trump can't speak Russian. Who in Trump's orbit know how to speak Russian?
Wait, hold on. You telling me? Hold on. You telling me a damn billionaire can't find a Russian translator? He got to marry abroad to do that? He's a billionaire.
He got a wife. That's even better. Think about it.
And that's why she's all over Russian TV right
Oh
now.
my God.
Gapped open.
She's an asset.
That's why she's all legs gapped open all over
Right.
Russia.
Hey, but have some liberal. I want to say one other thing to you before I get off.
All right.
Do you remember I told you about my tax cut? And if Harris would have ran on it, and Trump basically took it and said no tax on overtime. But I told you a long time ago, about 6 months ago, I was talking about that tax cut where any hours over 40 hours, you would get, I mean, if you work 10 hours over 40 hours, you get a 5% tax reduction. Trump basically took that and ran with it. And I said Harris could run on it. She didn't even have to implement it. Just run on it because it votes real well with the people.
Well,
like anybody that works hard in America, your overtime means a lot. And if you're getting taxed the hell out of your overtime, that makes you don't even want to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. Well, Harris is history. I thought you were the adversary. I got to move it on, Big Rich, but I thought you were countering him. It sounded like you guys kind of agree. So, but Kamala Harris did not run on it as you're stating. Many suggest she was a bad candidate, and she is now history. Big Rich, thank you. And Stick, I will move it on, but before I do, real quick, you kind of said the same thing about nobody giving a damn about the CEO lacking empathy. You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, we're at the time right now. The president-elect, he don't care. I mean, he ain't came out and said anything, not that I know of. And then
is that something he normally would speak on? Are you really expect Trump?
I mean,
what does Biden say?
To shut up and dribble. If he tells LeBron to shut up and dribble, he's bound to say any damn thing.
That was Laura Ingraham, but that was Laura Ingraham of Fox. You're crediting Trump for something he didn't say. That was Laura Ingraham of Fox that said LeBron should shut up and dribble.
Well, the whole thing I'm trying to say is basically, if you can, okay, I'll take that. My error. Let me go to the kneeling with Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
If he's willing to speak on that with the SOB,
I get your point. Yeah, he did speak on that a lot.
So he could say anything, and I'm pretty sure he agreed with her with shut up and dribble. I'm being honest. And LeBron had to come back out and say, well, why y'all not getting on Jerry Jones?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I do remember that. I do remember that.
So it is a two-tier justice system. It is a two-tier society in the sense of the paid, the rich, versus the middle class and the poor, they're not trying to have a middle class anymore. They're trying to just have poor and rich.
I'm hearing that
And
Trump
that's
is
how I
trying
see
to. I'm hearing that Trump is trying to lift us up all financially. Those things. I got to move it on. They're saying different than you.
I'll just say it like this: the tariffs, if everything go up, most liberals like yourself and most Democrats like myself, we ain't even complaining about the Biden inflation, right? So in other words, what I'm saying is we'll be fine. But all those poor MAGAs that's missing teeth and live in the Appalachian Mountains and all of that good stuff, y'all shit out of luck. Where the $1 million coal miners at? That's what I want to know. What happened to the coal industry? He had 4 years with this coal industry stuff. He want to get coal back popping and going. Where are these millionaire coal miners?
Not going to make $1 million in coal. That's an outgoing technology stick. Thank you for coming through.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's how Trump thinks.
Oh my God.
He said he was going to bring it back. I'm just saying that's how he thinks.
He did say that. He did say that. Moving on with the program. Listen to the lack of empathy. There it is, Tim. Yeah, I don't know anybody I've talked to that has empathy for this United Healthcare CEO that lost his life in cold blood on camera. Most Americans are so pissed off with these health insurance giants that they're like, listen, you know, you're the CEO of the company. You're likely responsible for some of that stuff. In fact, the shell casings they found at the scene that the gunman used had messages on them. The shell casing had the words delay and depose on it. And many have tied that to the triple D phrase that's normally said. Triple D. First time I've ever said that in this light. But triple D phrase, deny, delay, and defend. That is what the insurance companies traditionally do to avoid paying claims. Deny, delay, and defend. So the fact that he put that on a shell casing, similar to, you know, if we're at war, people put messages on the bombs and shit like that. They've been doing that since the beginning. You know, there's even I think there was even a message on the bombs we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We write a message on there. He had a message on the casings. So there's no denying it was personal, because he wanted the message to be found by leaving the casings at the scene. If he didn't want to leave any casings, he could have used a revolver or covered up his automatic so that the casings were caught. He wanted the casings to be left behind. So he wanted that. Ask about the gut punch Pennsylvania steelworkers. I heard about that. I don't have all, you know, I saw a few TikToks on that. What exactly happened? I don't have enough on it to do a show on it, but I did hear that the union workers in Pennsylvania backed Trump and he has canceled some kind of steel project that is going to hurt them specifically. That's the gut punch. I haven't studied on it enough to come to it with a show, but I have heard about it. Looking in the comments, shooter was there many hours waiting. Yeah, people were walking by the guy and everything. He was specifically waiting for that CEO. He was waiting for that guy. In fact, when he started popping him, other people was next to him. He definitely wanted that dude, and he succeeded. Now they do have, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but in recent hours, they have released what they believe are pictures of him without a mask on. He's a white dude or whatever. They have pictures of him. Now, we'll see how that turns out, but they have released pictures of him without the mask on. Looking in the comments real quick, who does a hit in downtown with cameras everywhere and gets caught on camera? This guy was not a pro, gets caught in a Starbucks. Well, he ain't been caught yet. Who does a hit in downtown New York with cameras everywhere? Somebody who's really fucking angry. How about that? Somebody who's really fucking angry. Was he a pro? Probably not. More than likely, he was somebody that company fucked over among the millions of others that they fucked over, which is why the comment section is so awful in regards to the death of this guy. You got to assume every CEO of a healthcare company at this point has probably got protection around them, because when you're treating people like shit, Sometimes shit has a way to find you. Let me go back to the box and thank some of you folks that are tapping the screen. Can we get to 40? Can we get to 40,000? Smash that like button on YouTube. Get us up to about 70. YouTube horizontal, YouTube vertical. Real quick looking in the comments. The word mortgage is Yiddish. It means death grip. Is that true? The word mortgage is Yiddish. It means death grip. Damn. And yes, even when you're using slave labor to produce goods, you still have slave owners. You have to contract for their usage. You telling me slave owners had contracts? Contracts with who? What if he violated the contract? I don't know about all that. DMF, good evening. Welcome to the program. Yeah, John Q. I think that's a 90s movie or maybe early 2000s. John Q with Denzel Washington is a great example of a father whose daughter was being denied coverage, and he took a firearm, went in the hospital, and John Q would be that's a good example of that. DMF, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. We're talking about the CEO of United Healthcare and the fact that virtually nobody gives a damn about the guy being gunned down in cold blood. In your opinion, what does that say about America?
You know what? I honestly have no opinion on that either. All I'm going to say, though, is that I don't speak bad about those who have died. I don't speak bad about anyone like that. You know what I mean? So I just have no opinion there, and I personally don't want to talk about that. But I wanted to speak about something that someone brought up to me. Let me ask you this. How do you feel about Biden calling Trump supporters trash? Let me ask you that question.
You're talking about the guy with dementia that can't string together a sentence that we laugh at when he falls down or when he falls up aircraft steps? That guy? How do I feel about him? He returned fire, finally, in my opinion.
Okay. So the reason why I got up was because I actually want to talk about as to why I really feel liberals lost this election. Number one, Kamala Harris is absolutely terrible. She was an absolutely terrible candidate. If they would have had an actual another primary, liberals would have won.
So you think if the Democrats had a primary, Trump would have lost?
And you put you put someone in the same category as Obama, then yeah, I really do.
That's a lot of ifs. I don't know any Democrat right now that's on the scene that would be in the same category as Obama right now. I don't know anybody that.
I know that Whitmer would have won.
You think? I don't believe. You just said a progressive. She's very progressive.
So I don't know. I feel like she was a better candidate for people.
What about you? Now, I'm assuming you didn't vote for Kamala Harris?
No, I voted for Trump.
Would you have voted for Whitmer if she was going against Trump?
If I would have, I'm an independent, so if I would have listened to her ideas and I liked it, yeah, 100%.
You voted for Trump, but there's a possibility you would have voted for Whitmer. I guess the first thing I want to know is where you stand on some issues, because you know enough about Whitmer to know that her and Trump are polar opposites in terms of policies, whether it's LGBT, whether it's gun rights. I don't get that one.
So the reason why I'm saying that is because there are some liberal policies that I agree with, and there are some Republican policies that I agree with as well.
So let's take some of the more well-known ones right now. Like, for instance, the largest deportation in history. Do you favor that?
Yes and no.
What the hell is that? Do you?
So,
What do you mean? Yes
so
and no.
let me explain it. Okay. So I'm Cuban, right? So I'm Cuban and I'm Ecuadorian. Do I believe that there needs to be a control on immigration? Yes. So to be able to deport those who are committing crimes, yes, I am for
Let
that.
me phrase it. Trump talks about getting rid of the Haitian migrants. They're not committing crimes. They're here legally. Do you support that?
Not 100%, no. Unless they're committing crimes, I do not.
Okay, they're not. The Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio, are not committing crimes. Now Trump is claiming they're eating pets, but no proof of that has ever been produced. So you don't favor that part. What about the stance on LGBTQ issues? Do you favor Trump or more likely favor Kamala Harris?
Well, Trump is for LGBTQ.
How?
You haven't seen him hugging the LGBTQ flag?
I hug the gay man. That don't mean I'm having sex with him. What the hell does that mean?
So, okay, what I'm saying though, right, is that just because Kamala ran on abortion.
No, hold on. No, you said Trump is for LGBTQ. How?
How?
Yeah.
Because in fact, he's the most pro LGBTQ community president out there. And you heard it here first.
You know, you do know Obama gave gay people the right to marry each other, and Trump was against that.
Okay.
How is Trump?
Why? Because he gave them more money.
Everybody, wait, hold on.
More jobs.
Everybody ain't focused on money. If you want to be able to marry your lover, so that if you die, they get to determine what happens while you're in a hospital or get to have your inheritance. Everybody don't make decisions solely based on money. There are other things that matter. What has he done for gay people that makes you say he's the most pro-LGBTQ president there is?
Because, like I just said, he has given them more opportunities to be able to succeed in life. He has given them in this economy, I'm sorry, but yes, money is almost everything.
So in other words, the only thing he's done is created more opportunities, which I would assume that goes across the board. Everybody under Trump's economy, you would say, has had more opportunities. So he didn't do anything specifically for gay people.
So, okay, for Americans in general, whether they're gay or they're not, whether they're Hispanic, whether they're black, it doesn't matter, right?
You're saying all of this. You're saying all of this about Trump, but you also stated that you would have possibly voted for Whitmer. If Trump has done all this great stuff, what the hell could Whitmer say to you?
So, all right. So there are some policies such as I feel we need to go back to, we need to go to free healthcare, right? There are a lot of people who are struggling with medical bills who can't basically afford their medical bills because of how bad the economy is, right? I am one of them. So then, therefore, if she would present something such as
Give me something else that you ain't going through.
Okay. Another one would be, I feel like, well, I'm trying to remember exactly what it's called.
I see in the comments, Rich says go back to Cuba. Rich, you are wrong for that. Give me what you got, DMF.
So, okay. So let's talk a little bit about history. Right
No.
now, right?
Give me some reason why you would vote for Whitmer. You said you would consider voting for Whitmer. I'm not hearing anything.
Family leave. That is something that a lot of Democrats are for, and I agree with.
Okay.
Husbands should be able to spend time with their families when a child is born.
Are you pro-life or pro-choice?
I am pro-life.
You're voting for Whitmer. That's just, there's not enough there. You lean right. I mean, there's a couple things you pointed out, but overall, you lean right. There's no way in hell you're gonna vote for Whitmer.
So, okay. So, I mean, yeah, I'm more lean right, but those are the type of things that would get me to vote.
But I am shocked that you would bring up Whitmer's name. You're not going to vote for her. There's nothing about it. I haven't even gotten to the Second Amendment yet, but I'm assuming you're probably going to be leaning right on that too. You're not going to vote for this lady. I mean, I can't believe you're making it sound like Trump would have lost and there are other Democrats that would have been competitive and you would have considered them. No, you wouldn't have. No Democrat is going to run on the stuff you're talking about. You want a right-leaning politician. I think it's clear as day. My comment sections have been lighting up since you started talking. Like, this guy is lying. He leans right. Everybody, I don't think anybody listening thinks what you said is accurate, that you would consider voting for Whitmer. I don't think anybody believes that.
And that's fine. They don't have to believe me.
Okay.
But I'm just letting you know, my dude. But
all right.
Listen,
real quick, I got to move. Give me what you got.
Okay. So the reason why the reason why I feel like Democrats lost is because Trump ended up getting 40% of the national Hispanic vote.
Yeah.
Okay. Kamala Harris. Trump won Miami-Dade County, which is traditionally blue. And Florida. That's originally where I am from. I'm from Miami. My ancestors are from Cuba.
Okay.
So, my thing is if you go back into history, right? Let's talk about Ed Maria, right? The Cubans, when they came into this country. My point about this, right, is that Democrats, and they were too extreme for me. That's why I did not vote for them.
All right. And you're not the only one saying it. I got to move it on, but you're not the only one saying the Democrats were too extreme, went too far to the left. So at the end of the day, she lost, and that probably does have something to do with it. But I got to move it on, man. Thank you. All right. And I will say this as well. Oddly enough, people who, the transgender issues and things like that, they were able to paint Kamala talking about the surgery for inmates and things like that. By the way, that was happening under Trump, but they were able to cut the videos and things like that to make it look like Kamala Harris was really supporting that. But going too extreme, yeah, there was plenty of that where alpha males felt like the left was going too much into feminism and you couldn't be a man without being called toxic masculinity and all of that. But the odd thing I want to bring up is it is very possible with the right now putting Bibles in schools and up to and including some of these abortion laws, or even if the woman is raped or the right is starting to go too far to the right. The right, you can get rid of a party because they went too far to the left. It can happen in reverse because they're passing a lot of these laws that are very far right, and the people in those states have no say-so over it at all. Just like I mentioned, the Bible in schools. It ain't like the people in Oklahoma or Texas where they're putting the 10 Commandments on the wall. The people ain't voting this stuff in. It's right-wing governors just doing it on their own. The same thing with the abortion bans. So we talk about the left losing because they went too far to the left. The right is starting to do that already. I don't know how far it's going to go, but keep in mind we do have a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court. And by the time all is said and done, it could be as much as a 7-2 majority. Sotomayor is 69 and Roberts is also 69. We'll definitely lose Alito and Clarence Thomas. So Trump will get 2 more appointees, meaning he will have 5 by himself. Roberts and Sotomayor are both 69 years old. One or two of them could step down as well. Trump could walk away with as many as 7 Supreme Court picks. Too far to the left, too far to the right. Just imagine how you would think, and I'm talking to my beloved MAGA viewers. Imagine what you would say if Obama, Biden, or even Kamala Harris had 7 picks, 5, let's say 5, Trump has 3 now, and he's guaranteed to get 2 more. Let's say 5 picks on the Supreme Court were all picked by Obama or all picked by Biden. Or what would you be saying? So there is no notion at all to believe that if one guy puts 5 picks on the Supreme Court, it's going to remain fair and impartial. You would not think that if a liberal did it. So do not expect the left to think that, well, yeah, he got 5 picks, but they're going to remain fair and impartial. Bullshit. You're getting to interview these people privately, and when you appoint, they're not going to do anything that's against you. So, yeah, I do believe there's a strong possibility, with emphasis on strong, that after 4 years of Trump, you could have a large portion of America saying that we've went too far to the right. Too far to the right. Just like we're now saying we've went too far to the left. In fact, we're suggesting that the left went too far, and they didn't have nowhere near all of the power and mechanisms in place to do what the right is capable of doing now. The left didn't have control of the Supreme Court and some of this stuff. So it could go very far to the right. We'll see, but I do believe that will be a topic of discussion in the next 2 years, definitely probably in 4. Going back to the box, continuing on with Mike, one of my subs. Good evening, Mike. MAGA don't give a fuck. They are winning in their minds. Now, they're winning, period, Will. MAGA is winning. When Trump said, if you elect me, you're going to get tired of winning. I mean, because MAGA feels like every time Trump won those court cases or caused delays, they were winning too. Trump has had a lot of victories lately. So when he says you're going to get tired of winning if you vote for me, rolling back Roe v. Wade, Supreme Court, he delivered on that. Mike, good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
Hey, a lot to talk about here. Go ahead.
Man, we just don't have empathy, man. That's terrible. I don't. I'm talking about the.
You're talking about the CEO, yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible, man. And listen, anybody that feels somehow that's a good thing. I don't care what their individual issues were outside of his orbit. That's not good, man. Why are we getting so? But see, remember I always tell you, these people don't care, Tim.
Well, let me interrupt this. Let me interrupt and say this. If you do have a company like United Healthcare, where he's the CEO, and they are constantly making decisions that could negatively affect people's lives, and I'll tell you, me personally, I've had an insurance company deny me of something I need recently. Could you see that at least being a fuel for why people don't give a damn about his demise?
Listen, I mean, anybody can have any reason. I don't even like to rationalize, because we just normalize that shit. At the end of the day, people, we all go through things. People have their stories about healthcare, but if that man didn't impact you directly, I mean, listen, why are we? I just don't understand.
He probably did, though. Here, you said that man did not impact you directly. He probably did.
But we don't know that. That's the thing. We don't know that. So for somebody to see that clip on TV and celebrate that man being gunned down, it's just terrible, because that same person would not be celebrating if that was their brother, father, son. It's just, they just wouldn't.
I get your point.
That keyboard, man.
Yeah, I get your point, but here's the thing, and I don't want to sound like I'm rationalizing a lack of empathy for him either, but I do understand it. Here's the point: the guy's making this is what he made in 2023 alone. He made $10.2 million, and you're making decisions that, like I said, it health-wise, it really has a negative impact on people's lives. And make no mistake about it, when companies do this type of shit, when they deny claims and things like that, they often get bonuses for doing it. There's a video floating around right now that they were either testifying before Congress or something like that, but Spirit Airlines was on the chopping block because they were pointing out, forcing the CEO of Spirit to admit that they actually give employees incentives to walk around when you're in line to get on an aircraft, if you got a carry-on, they are paying their employees $10 per bag they can find that doesn't fit the carry-on standards, because then they can charge you whatever, $50 or whatever it is. They actually pay their employees an actual bonus of $10 per bag. The CEO admitted that. They're giving them $10. So if you find somebody in line and their bag is a little bit too big, I think it's 2 centimeters over, and you can flag that and make them have to pay the check-in fee, you get $10. So some of these airlines, just like this healthcare company, but in this case, it's people's health, it ain't a baggage. When you're constantly making a killing off of treating people like shit, can you not see where the lack of empathy may come from?
No, I can. No, I can understand where the lack of empathy may come, and we're saying that even that example with the CEO of that airlines.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened to the CEO of the airlines? What was this? And I'm not making excuses for it, but the extreme, right? We're into extremes right now.
Well, the CEO of the airline didn't get shot.
Guy gets gunned down on the streets.
Well, no, and I get you. I don't want the guy. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want the guy to get gunned down. But what I'm saying is, lack of empathy can sometimes beget lack of empathy. I mean, obviously, United Healthcare don't have empathy for a lot of Americans. Did I lose your mic?
Clearly. And so when that comes out, no, I'm still here.
Yeah, your signal's going in and out. But you understand that lack of empathy can lead others to having lack of empathy for you. Mike, I may have to drop you. You got a signal issue.
That's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Yeah, Mike,
right.
Okay. So
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you got you only got like 1 bar over here. I can see your signal's pretty low, so it's causing you to go in and out. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you, man, because you
can drop me.
Because there's a delay and all of that. Looking in the comments though, he thought it was smart to walk around alone in New York City without security. I don't, like I said earlier in the program, I don't think any CEO of any healthcare company is doing that anymore. I think after what happened to him, you're gonna have a lot of CEOs, not just of healthcare companies. I mean, if you're over a business and a lot of your your customers, if you are the CEO of a business and a lot of your customers are unhappy. I'll give you my own spiel, not healthcare related, but I got one of those too. I used to have, when I had an older vehicle, this one is used too, but it's more of a late model used car. But I had an older vehicle. So I went out and bought that car shield. You already know where this conversation is going. $125 a month for car shield. You see Vivica Fox and Ice-T and all of these folks all over television telling you, look, car shield's a great insurance to have just in case, you have a major repair. I had them for 3 years, didn't have any significant problems wrong with my car for 3 years. That's $125 a month times 12 times 36. 3 years of that. The minute I had a repair, they came up with a bullshit excuse for why they didn't want to. It was like a $3,000 repair. $3,000 I had to come up out of my pocket. This was earlier this year, which is why I switched vehicles earlier this year. So if you're the CEO of a company like that, for instance, where people don't gave you their hard-earned money for several years, like in my case, or even several months, and then when they need you, you stiff them. CEOs like that should have protection. Now, what happened to me with my car is not a major health issue. So United Healthcare is even worse. But what I'm simply saying is, and I see in the comments, what is it y'all said the same? So it happened to you too with car shield. I've been meaning to make a video on that shit because I used to be a rideshare driver, and I was recommending rideshare drivers, Uber, Lyft, you should have some because you don't make a lot of money. Get some car insurance just in case something happens to your car. You put a lot of miles on it. I've been meaning to make a video to suggest don't ever get car shield. I think what they got me on is they said I had I don't want to go too deep in this, but they said I had a power steering fluid leak. And that's what caused something happened I'm not a big car person, but I needed plugs. I mean, just timing belt and all. They said the fluid leaked and caused that. They said, well, we don't cover steering. So anything that is resulting from that, we're not going to cover that either. $3,000 repair. They didn't cover anything, nothing, after 3 years of being a customer. And the kicker is they've been constantly contacting my ass, trying to get me back as a customer. I try to avoid yelling words like fuck you in the phone. It's been hard. Will G says, though MAGA thinks they are winning, we'll get, wait a minute, she said, though MAGA thinks they are winning, we'll get jacked in the heart and in the back because we all know what he did in his first term. Farmers got stiffed in the trade war. If the farmers, you're saying that people supported Trump and they're going to fuck around and find out because some of his policies, indicating that some of Trump's supporters may have voted against their own best interests. I believe that. Predominantly Hispanics. I absolutely believe there's going to be a lot of Hispanics that voted for Trump that voted against their own best interest. We'll see. Maybe I am completely wrong. But if Trump is correct in implementing the largest deportation in history, there's going to be a lot of legal Hispanics, actually American-born Hispanics. You look Mexican, but you were born in Arizona. A lot of them are going to get caught up in that shit. So, I believe that. We'll absolutely believe that. But you're saying farmers, well, if they deport a bunch of people, yeah, the farmers already said they're going to be hurt. But there are others who favor Trump. But yeah, I absolutely believe that there's going to be some folks like that. Charles Vaughn says, cry me a river. I cannot tell you how many, particularly people of color. I've seen this all over, I see people from all races and cultures online, but it's mostly been black people. Like, when this shit starts happening to you, as Charles Vaughn said, cry me a river. There are black people that are literally eager to rejoice on the day when some of these Hispanics start getting dragged out of the country. Like, don't call us, them your people. I've seen all of those comments online, but they're particularly among black people. They're eager to see folks who voted for Trump have a bad outcome. I don't know if it's wrong to do that, but I've really seen that from black people. If you have kids, please don't let them watch the movie Dear. Okay, I'll read this because Sid is a friend of the program. He says, if you have kids, please don't let them watch the movie Dear Santa 2024. It is a demonic and it normalizes the idea of making wishes to Satan. Damn, is that on Netflix or something? What is the movie Dear Santa? Yikes. Empathy and business don't work. Hence issues with capitalism. You can have, no, I don't agree with that. Empathy says empathy and business do not work. There are companies that give a shit about people and there's companies that do not. And not giving a damn about people does not always guarantee you're going to be successful. Think top best companies to work for. A lot of times, like Google. Google is known as a great company to work for. They're not known for lacking empathy. Companies like Walmart, when they first got in the game, was known as the opposite. Both of those are hugely successful companies. You could be empathetic to your employees and not treat them like shit and still make money. Google has been known as looking out for moms that have kids and all kinds of stuff like that. Walmart has been the opposite. Now, I know Walmart has made some changes over the years, but Walmart was known as a company that didn't give a damn about its employees. So I don't agree with you in saying that empathy and business do not work. You can actually be a successful person without being an asshole or without just really. It depends on how much money you want to make. I guess we look at it like that. But you can be rich without treating people like shit. Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks, from Dallas Mavericks, former owner of the Dallas Mavericks. I'm having a Biden moment. You've known him from Shark Tank. He is one that is known as an empathetic employer. And he's filthy rich. He's a billionaire. You can do it. He could probably be a multi-billionaire if he fucked everybody over. But everybody ain't trying to make every single penny they can at the expense of people. He's a good example of that. Going back to the box, Sapper. Good evening. Welcome to the program, Sapper. I see his MAGA hat in the back. Yeah, the MAGA hat's right there. We are MAGA friendly. We always had a MAGA hat. Let folks know I believe that conservatives, Republicans, and MAGA alike do not often get a fair shake in the media. So you'll always see me with the MAGA hat behind because I do believe in free speech, and that is to let folks know this is a MAGA-friendly program. Regardless of how we feel politically, I do believe that MAGA, just like everyone else, is entitled to free speech. So with the name of the program, well, he's not going to, no, when you come here, you get to speak. Doesn't matter what the hell your political affiliation is. You will get to speak. I see in the comments, stop playing with me, says, I'm sick of MAGA. Oh, well, you're going to be in a coma by the time it's done because you're about to hear a whole lot of MAGA over the next 4 years. If you're sick of them now, man, used to be an old love song said, if you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight. It's going to be more, you're going to hear a lot about MAGA over the next 4 years because they're going to be gloating. Let's try it again with Sapper. Alex Corp with Planter, great company. Yeah, there's some great companies to work for. Sapper, good evening.
Hey, brother.
Hey,
how you doing, man?
I'm
Long
doing
time
good.
No see.
Good to have you back on, man.
You
So,
yeah, I'm doing all right, man. Hey, listen. They got this new term out here now, FAFO, right? And they're gonna find out, right?
ooh.
And MAGA, they're gonna find out.
Now you do know the brothers, the black community has they've had a term like that as well. They just didn't call it. You know what the black term is for FAFO? Just a side note.
Oh yeah, I know what it is.
What is it?
I know exactly
what is it.
Huh?
What is it?
Hey, it's along them lines, man. If around to find out, right?
I wish a motherfucker would. I wish a motherfucker would. That's the same thing as FAFO.
I wish you would. I wish you would, right?
Wish a motherfucker would.
At the end of the day, right? He's the president-elect.
That is true.
That does not mean that I have to accept the foolery that he's about to start.
What do you think he's going to do?
Man, listen. Look at the Secretary of Defense that he's trying to put in office. Look at the entire cabinet. 90% of them, except for that woman, has some type of criminal background.
90%. I don't know if it's that high. I mean, Hegseth, Matt Gaetz. There's a few bad apples in there, but
yeah. I'm grouping them all in there. The only one that I'm not going to give that to is the Attorney General because she pretty much walked a straight line.
What if he get rid of Hegseth and put Ron DeSantis in there? Would that make you a little happier?
It would. It would not make me happy because I know that there are flag officers that are more qualified that should have gotten that position.
I don't know, Ron.
I would be more happy if Ron DeSantis would have gotten in over this guy because this guy has no values or morals.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis, you may not favor his politics, but I would say Ron DeSantis is highly qualified. I mean,
he's more qualified than this guy. Okay, so I would not say that Ron DeSantis is as qualified as a flag officer.
Okay, but he's definitely qualified for the position.
He's qualified for the position because of his political rankings. Basically, it's the position that he has in political office.
Well, he's obviously been a governor of one of the biggest. I think Florida might be one of the. Florida's GDP is pretty damn high. So he's been a governor of and he's obviously served in the military. I mean, I think he's pretty qualified.
Yeah, but you could say that. Okay, yeah, he was a governor, right? But do you see a captain talking to a 4-star general and an admiral of the Pacific Fleet and telling them what to do?
Well, but do you
see that?
Well, because he controls the Florida National Guard. How high up in ranking can you go as a National Guard? I mean, he's talking to some pretty high-ranking military now.
No. He was only a captain.
But he's also a governor.
Okay.
I mean, let me ask you. Okay, hold on. Let me ask you this way: George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush, I believe they both were in the military. How high were they? Because they obviously were talking in ordering generals around. George H.W. Bush was a pilot in World War II.
Yeah, but the difference is with those guys is that once you become president, you now become the commander in chief inherently. You're not selected separately to become commander in chief. Once you become president, automatically you inherit that role. So yes, we will accept that role. That's not a problem with us doing that.
I gotta disagree. I gotta disagree with you. Ron DeSantis get the job. I think the generals will listen to him. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, yeah, he wasn't a general in the military, but he's he got the job.
I think he'll get some pushbacks.
And if you can give pushback within the limitations of your place on the totem pole, but at the end of the day, if his word would go.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would, because of virtue of position, because of Secretary of Defense, right? Because he's a Secretary of Defense, and you are the boss of these generals, right? So yes. Yes, it would go, but they would still give him pushback.
Wasn't Donald Rumsfeld? Didn't he have that position before?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, they listened to him. What was his? I mean, they don't. He's just a politician. I mean, he's dead now, but he didn't. I mean, Ron DeSantis to me is definitely qualified compared to some of them people.
Well, I'll tell you this much: he's much more qualified than Hegseth.
Yeah, I definitely believe he's more qualified than Pete Hegseth, but I think he's qualified in his own right. I think Ron DeSantis would be a great pick for Trump. And also, too, let's say it this way. A lot of folks are saying that Trump is picking loyalists and people that are going to do whatever he tells them. At least we've seen Ron DeSantis challenge him once.
Right, and that's why I don't know if he would put him in that position, but then if he does, he'll put him in that position, but then turn around and fire him later and put somebody else in.
Well, that's going to happen anyway. You already know with Trump, it's going to be music and chairs. I mean, we already know that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some like Vegas odds makers taking bets on how soon he's going to fire somebody and which position it's going to be. They probably can bet money on that in some places. Because people gonna get fired pretty quick under Trump.
I tell you who's gonna get fired quick. I guarantee you, the FBI director. He's gonna go.
What is that guy's name?
He's gonna go.
I was talking about him.
He's like a pompous ass. He's a pompous ass, and he's gonna get up there and he's gonna try to buck up on Trump, and then Trump is gonna say bye-bye.
Yeah, Cash Patel, that's who. Yeah, well, you already know going in, for the most part, this is a guy that does not like dissenting opinions, and you got to be very cautious with how you tell him what he's telling you to do is wrong or illegally or you don't favor it, because you're right. If you push too hard, he's going to just get rid of you so he can do it.
Yeah. I see that. And as to your point with that CEO from United Insurance, may his soul rest in peace. And yes, you're right. People in America right now, I don't understand what's going on with their feelings and empathy for people. I don't want you to feel sorry for the man's family, but have some type of empathy. The man just passed away. At least,
Well, yeah, but I'm going to push back and say people believe that he, as the CEO of United Healthcare, had no empathy for his customers.
I would not necessarily say that he does not have empathy, because you have to remember that United Insurance has what? Shareholders. And those shareholders is who he answers to.
Yeah.
He has to answer to those shareholders. The CEO can always get fired.
Yeah, that is true. Well, if you're acting on behalf of the company, whatever the company does, you're going to be the first to get the blame. So I get what you're saying.
You're going to be the first to get the blame. You're going to be the first to get fired, or you're going to be the first one to get spit on, right?
Or in this case, fired upon.
Exactly, right?
Bro.
So yeah, so he's the first to get fired up on, while at the end of the day the stocks went up and the shareholders are happy.
Damn. I'm hoping that maybe this will make the deductibles go down. I don't know, but
no, shareholders are happy. They're gonna have a good Christmas. The stocks went up.
At the expense of people. Wow. All right. I got to move it on, Sap. But that, you know, at the end of the day, we need more empathetic businesses, and maybe some of the customers won't show up like that with a silencer. I mean, shit happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I don't want to wish
man.
I don't want to wish the worst on anybody, but if you are mistreating people, you know, shit happens. That's all I'll just say. Shit happens.
Yeah, well, may his soul rest in peace, man, and may his family, you know, grieve and lay his soul to rest, man, and get over it. And they will never get over it, especially as kids. It's Christmas time, man, and you know, you're getting ready to bury your father. You know what I'm saying? That's not, you know,
Yeah.
I feel for the kids. I feel for the kids.
Roger that. All right, and I do have a soft side to it, but man, it's just show some care about the people that buying your damn insurance, man. I mean, I wish I could dig them back up, bring them back to life, and say, "You motherfucker, you got lucky. You go out there and you treat your customers right. I'm gonna give you another chance." I wish I could do that, but unfortunately, he is now decomposing.
At the end of the day, handsome, our politician, Congress and the Senate and the presidents, they could regulate these insurance companies.
Yeah.
And they don't. They choose not to.
Because they've been paid not to do it by the insurance company. Because they've been paid by the insurance companies not to do it.
Right. Because I looked at the donations that United Insurance donated to the Republican and the Democratic Party. $45 million or 40-something million to the Republicans and over $50 million to the Democrats for the 2024 elections.
Yeah, I believe that. Yep, and that's what when Trump came down the escalator, stating he was going to drain the swamp and how he knew how corrupt the system is. That's what he said he did. He was like, "I've donated money to both sides. I've been playing them both." And that's what sounds like United Healthcare is doing. Well, rest in peace or good riddance or however they say that. I got to go, though. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right,
Okay,
man. Thank you. And moving on with the program, I don't know what I just hit there, but tap the screen, get us on up to 50, FIDDY. We're close to 50,000. I think we can do that easily. They're only offering, yeah, that's true too. Only offering a $10,000 reward, still being cheap. Yeah, DJ Julio, appreciate the hat mustache. Thank you. Yeah, they only offer. This guy made $10.3 million in 2023 alone. So yeah, his family is grieving, but they ain't struggling. I mean, if he made $10 million in 1 year, you could only imagine how much money he's made climbing up to that point over the years. I mean, he's got that family is probably worth at least 50, which is what I'm asking you guys to tap the screen and get me up to 50,000 on the likes. Corporations hedge when it comes to lobbying politicians. Well, that shit shouldn't be available. You just and you're not gonna get this. Just like with term limits, you're not gonna get it because both sides don't want it. Sounds good at a rally, but the politicians themselves benefit too much from this. But yeah, you shouldn't. Corporations should not be able to donate money to politicians because what they essentially are doing is buying policies. To me, right now, one of the biggest examples that I believe is on the horizon. I'll explain it to you, but I see your comment. Will G says Cobb salads will be $50. Fuck around and find out. Let's hope Trump deporting everybody doesn't cost the price of a Cobb salad to be $50. Damn. The biggest issue with money in politics is on the horizon, in my opinion, folks. Elon Musk, directly on the Trump administration, with all of the things that he has in the fire in terms of businesses that he's promoting, that's a perfect example of why I say corporations should not have the ability to put money into politics. You can almost be certain that a lot of policies coming from the Trump administration are going to be beneficial to businesses of Elon Musk, whether it's lithium, whether it's electric car mandates that Trump was remember Trump, how much he criticized electric cars? Suddenly Elon Musk gets on the team and he ain't saying shit no more. He was talking about the cars had short range and the batteries were hard to dispose. He was all in favor of combustible engines. All of a sudden, Elon Musk gets in the game and he don't want real quiet on electric cars. You're going to probably see a lot of legislation coming out of the Republican Party that is favorable to companies from Elon Musk. You might see government programs going straight to Elon Musk, maybe funding his hope to send a man to Mars, because he got all these companies already available. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of putting money in politics like that because, yeah, he going to benefit tremendously from the $145 million he reportedly donated to the Trump campaign. He's going to get all of that back and more. And it would not surprise me at all if most of the top Republicans in Washington are purchasing stock hand and foot in Elon Musk companies. I mean, it's just drain the swamp my ass. This is the swamp. This is how the swamp works. You put this guy on the campaign, on the administration, and then all of a sudden, all of his companies are going to blow the fuck up, and all of the people that are surrounding him are all likely invested in his companies because it's pretty clear his companies are about to do very well. How is that draining the swamp? I'm asking MAGA, how the hell is that draining the swamp at all? Looking in the comments real quick. I mean, there's just nothing about draining the swamp in it. That's exactly why Elon backed President Orange for all of the money. It makes no sense at all. And for my MAGA views, you know damn well you say the same thing. If George Soros was suddenly serving in a White House position, Mark Zuckerberg was all of a sudden in charge of a certain, you would be saying the same shit. Elon Musk got all these companies out there. It shouldn't be allowed. Shouldn't be allowed. But you don't hear MAGA, who's been talking about draining the swamp and getting corruption out of politics the whole time Trump is on the scene, not saying a damn thing about this at all. Even though the corruption, the conflict of interest should be as clear as day. Not one word about it. Someone needs to explain a handsome bubblehead that the government doesn't make money. Norm, that ain't got a damn thing to do with what I just stated, but I appreciate the criticism. You know, I got thick skin. You can say what you want. He says that someone needs to explain to handsome bubblehead. So he didn't go to handsome liberal. He referred to handsome bubblehead. I get it. Handsome bubblehead that the government does not make money. That ain't got a damn thing to do with what I just said. Government don't need to make money. The government just remember Bush and Halliburton. The whole claim that you started a war and now your companies are making a fortune in Iraq because you're giving them contracts, the no-bid contracts of Dick Cheney. This is that. This is another version of that on steroids. It got nothing to do with the government making money. The government is making policies that are going to be favorable to Elon Musk. Someone in the comments said, follow the money. Now, Elon Musk is worth $1 gazillion already. But I'll tell you this, note his net worth now and keep track of it the time that Trump is in office. Just note how much he is worth now and compare it to how much he's worth when Trump leaves office. And tell me how wrong I am at that point. I would submit to you this right now as we speak, Elon Musk is worth about $1/3 of $1 trillion. Now, he made a killing when Trump won. He's already making money off of Trump's victory. By the time Trump leaves office, I'm going to speculate. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I will be. I'm going to speculate Elon Musk will be the world's first trillionaire. By the time Trump leaves office, Elon Musk will be the world's first trillionaire. And it will be due to policies that the Trump administration passed that are favorable to his businesses. You may have every federal car in this damn country being Tesla. His rockets, his Starlink, he's going to get government contracts all over the damn place. You may have your first trillionaire by the time Trump leaves office. NG says Musk $220 billion is chump change. to the Soros and BlackRock's trillions in money that they have pumped into Democratic pockets, but you're okay with that. Soros is not serving on the administration. You can do a lot more damage. Yeah, I'm not saying that Soros, just like the Koch brothers back the Bush era, there's plenty of money coming from these entities, but they're not serving on fucking government. Now this guy is actually in charge of making decisions. Elon Musk, along with Vivek Ramaswamy, now they can make decisions. By the way, Elon Musk is straight out of Big Pharma. Since when did MAGA find this shit okay? You got Big Pharma and Big Corporate now running the country. Where's the drain the swamp part? And because these guys like Trump, it's okay? They are exactly what we have been defining as swamp creatures. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. Now they're not contributing to politics. They are politicians. They are in the game now. That ain't got George Soros ain't at that level. George Soros is donating. He's not making legislation. Elon and Vivek now can make legislation. Big difference. Big difference. Let me go back to the box here. Okay, hang on a second. Shit.